Boom, boom, boom. Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Welcome. It's Jennifer Hammond, Merrill Chandler, and we are so interested in helping you with not only like your credit score. I think that's such a minor part of what we discuss.
Yeah.
But Merrill is an expert in this whole funding. And we call he has coined the word fundability. And I wanted to talk about this, Merrill, because it's so serious. We've had so many people, especially real estate investors, who are just freaking out because of the headlines about there is going to be another hike. So now we are Wednesday, November 2nd, and the headline is, and this is 2022. So if you're watching this on a replay, this is November 2nd, and people are really worried about another interest rate hike. And are we going to be able to, buy real estate? Is it going to become too expensive? So this is what I really wanted to talk about. Merrill, it's something we've talked about before, but it's not just about your credit score. It's really about your relationship with the banks. And that is so much more to do with all of those characteristics
Right.
that we talk about, right?
Yeah. This is really important. So let's kind of back up to 1,000-foot view. What most of us haven't been taught, and what we don't know, is that there's what's called a borrower profile. Now, that's not a credit profile. Let's break down what a borrower profile is, because the borrower profile is what's looked at, the whole picture of whether or not you're fundable. So borrower profile equals fundable or unfundable, right? That based on your borrower profile. So let's think of it this way. First of all, there is your banking profile. Inside of borrower profile, there's your banking, what the lenders call internal performance data, checking account traffic, how far away from zero you are, how many times you do an insufficient funds, right? Or an overdraft, how many times, what kind of money goes through, how many transactions you do every month. That's part of your borrower profile. Then there is your borrower identity. Your borrower identity is how many names do you have, versions of your name? Merrill Chandler, Merrill Ray Chandler, Merrill Chandler Jr., Merrill Ray Chandler Jr. I mean, some of us have numerous versions of our names. And folks who, and women who've been married once, maybe even twice, may have all of their maiden name, their first married name, their second married name, all captured by the credit profile. So your borrower identity is key to isolating so that a lender in their automatic underwriting models, they look at and say, who am I really lending to, right? So your borrower identity. So we've got a borrower, your banking profile, your borrower identity, then comes your credit profile, your credit history as recorded in your credit profile. Then after the credit profile is, have you gone late? Do you have collections? What do your balances show? Is the data across all three bureaus the same, identical? All of that's on your credit profile. And the borrower behaviors that Jennifer and I always talk about, those are recorded in your borrower profile, just like in the banking profile. You've got these metrics that are being measured. Then, and only then, comes your credit score. It's number 4, not number 1. It's number 4. So some of the things we've talked about in the past, you'll see number 4 or 5 in priority is your score. There's 3 other things in front of it. So that comprises your borrower identity, and that's what makes you fundable. Your borrower profile makes you fundable or unfundable. So I just wanted to start there, Jennifer, because now the interest rates are coming in. Now, scores only tell you how much money they're going to lend to you and what your rate and what your term for these different loans are going to be. They're looking at who you are, a borrower identity, and then what is your relationship with the bank? What are your borrower behaviors? Are they trustworthy? And the way we talk about it in the Get Fundable Jennifer master course that we talk about, getfundablejennifer.com. Get Fundable Jennifer, we talk about if your score, I'm trying to get it inside there we go. If the lending target is this big and you're on the outer rings of these approvals, we're moving into a contraction so that the funding target is this big.
Right.
When you have good borrower behaviors, you're what we call a bullseye borrower, right? All of your borrower behaviors are exactly what lenders need to trust you, even during difficult or high interest rate times. So when you're on the outer rings, man, they're not going to lend to you anymore.
Yep. And I know that we always want to keep these short, so I don't want to go too much, but I just want to make sure that people know that don't worry about what's going on with all the chaos with the headlines. Just remember, if you go back to just basics in journalism, if it leads, if it bleeds, it leads. If it's the most sensationalized, scary thing, that doesn't mean that you can't be at cause over your ability to get mortgages, your ability to get funding. If you're a real estate investor, you get a car loan. It's all about learning the basics of, we just talked about your borrower identity, these things. And again, you can go to getfundablejennifer.com and you can learn this. It's a masterclass. It is so incredible. I couldn't highly recommend it enough. And if you're frightened, this is the time to get more knowledge so that you're not frightened anymore, because you can control this. And it's
absolutely.
It's not about you did something wrong in your past, and about credit repair. It's a completely different game. So don't be afraid. Just take the knowledge. Learn.
Get educated, you guys, because knowledge. We all hear it. Knowledge is power, but implemented knowledge is your superpower. You have total power, and we can't get into it now, but you actually have total control over your approvals. You just got to hit that lending target and meet the lender guidelines. You do that. Lenders make money when they lend, guys. Be one of the lenders they trust to give money to. The only way you can do that is to prove to them through your borrower behaviors, your borrower identity, your banking relationship, that you can partner with them and both of you be profitable as a result.
And it's one thing I've heard you talk about when you say you first need to have the knowledge. So that's financial literacy. But then the next part of it is financial discipline.
Ta-da!
We got to do both. It's not just like, again, I always say I would pay somebody really, really good money if they would do my push-ups in the gym.
I know, right? But then it shapes my body, not theirs, right? That's not going to happen. We got to do it ourselves. Yeah. But imagine that at getfundablejennifer.com, it's easy and it's simple. You just got to know how it works. It's easy and it's simple.
It's a system. You just follow the system, and it's been there's a lot of hard work to get it to make it this simple and just a path that you can follow. So go
10 years.
Seriously, it's been. We've known each other so many years, and I've watched this evolve and evolve and evolve to make it easier and easier and easier, and quite frankly, more accessible to anyone to be able to get a hold of this information. It used to be that it was really, really inaccessible because it was so expensive.
Yeah.
Again, thank you, Merrill, because I know you've worked so hard.
We want to get this to everybody. Everybody deserves to be fundable, right? So guys, get fundable and go to getfundablejennifer.com to see exactly, just read the reviews. Scroll down three or four pages. You'll see dozens and dozens and dozens of folks just like you who are like, the hell, what WTF? Why didn't I know this 10 years ago? Exactly. Just check it out. It will prepare you. Even in that course, we have a how to be prepared for the recession. There's things you need to know to how to protect your credit.
Yes.
How to protect your lender relationships, how to tee up, how to protect your limits so they don't get closed down. All of that is in there, you guys.
Yeah, it's so important. So thank you, Merrill. Thank you. And we're on every Wednesday. We try to make it at noon, right around noon every week. And you go ahead and keep sending your questions. That's how we come up with our topics every week. So we'll see you next time.
Bye, Jennifer. Thanks, guys. Bye.